Greetings viewers, JLB here, back with a very special and very important animation news update. We've got news coming from the Nickelodeon camp as well as the Disney camp. For the Nickelodeon camp, we have new information about a new installment of the Paw Patrol Super Paws subseries. And from the Disney camp, we have something rather interesting. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, first off, the new episode of Mighty Pups is officially called Meet the Mighty Twins. Who are the Mighty Twins? They're a brother and sister golden retriever duo who are probably new to Adventure Bay, I'm not sure. But when in contact with a meteor, they get Ant-Man-like powers. The older sister can grow in size, while the younger brother can shrink down to the size of an ant. And there's a new villain being introduced, one by the name of Ladybird. She's a bit like Vulture from the Spider-Man comics because she's bird-themed, mostly themed around a magpie because magpies like to take things to improve their nests. There's the fact that she has a flight suit, and just like a magpie, she's a thief. Well, not all magpies are thieves. I just think they're clever. But anyway, who exactly is Ladybird? Who are the Mighty Twins? We'll have to find out on July 26th. But before we move on, I want to give my personal thoughts about the debut episode of Mighty Pups Super Paws. Now, I could have made a full video out of this, but I figured, well, since I've been putting it off, why not put it in here? So, you see, I'm actually impressed with how they started out the sub-series. I mean, sure, the plots are simple for children, but I'm a superhero aficionado, so if it deals with superheroes, especially superheroes that appeal to me, I'm all in for it. As evidenced by my Batman Arkham Knight shirt, sporting Arkham Knight, aka Red Hood. But enough about that. We'll have to figure out more about Ladybird and her intentions, as well as the Mighty Twins and who they are, when Mighty Pups Super Paws Meet the Mighty Twins airs on July 26th. Even though I kind of wish that Harold Humdinger didn't lose his powers thanks to the Super Catastrophe crew. But anyway, we jump from action in Adventure Bay over to a ghoulishly delightful event that has occurred recently around here. Hope you're ready, foolish mortals. Now then, as of yesterday, I have discovered something quite interesting. An intro for a television show made by Disney that could have been. That's right. There was a television show that was created by Disney that could have been, but never really got off the ground. For those of you who have been to the Disney parks and have ridden the Haunted Mansion, you'll be interested. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of the Haunted Mansion, it's basically one of the original attractions. Opened in the late 60s, early 70s in Disneyland, then it opened in spots all over the world. Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom, which is where I prefer, Hong Kong Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, Tokyo Disneyland, and Shanghai Disneyland. However, there were some attempts to cash in on the Haunted Mansion, much like Disney did with Pirates of the Caribbean, in the form of the 2003 Haunted Mansion movie starring Eddie Murphy, one of my favorite actors. However, that movie didn't do all that great. I think it's a good film, but the critics didn't really like it. So Disney decided to just keep the Haunted Mansion as an attraction instead of trying to exploit it like they did Pirates of the Caribbean. But aside from some stop-motion cartoons that were used as intervals between different shows on Disney XD, there was something more. A possible Haunted Mansion television show that could have been, but never really materialized, if you'll pardon the pun. And without further ado, here's the intro for the Haunted Mansion TV show. Brace yourselves, foolish mortals.
When hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange, frightening sounds echo through the halls. Whenever candlelights flicker, where the air is deathly still. That is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror with ghoulish delight. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Now, judging from the intro, you could probably tell that this was definitely going to be something special. My guess is that it was going to have the main character, whoever she was, go on multiple explorations through the mansion and encounter all the different characters that you see on the ride and go through the different stories of said characters, like the Black Widow Bride, maybe the Ghost Host, the Hitchhiking Ghosts. It could have been possible that this show may have been, or could have been, the highest ranking show on Disney XD or the Disney Channel if Disney decided to give it the green light. However, unfortunately, the show died a little bit too soon. And to be honest, I would have loved to see this on television. Being on Disney Channel or Disney XD, I would have paid to have seen this show. But sadly, the Haunted Mansion television show is left dead and buried, if you will, within the graveyard of cartoons that have never been. And so that brings this edition of Animation News Update to a close. I'm really pleased that you could join me, and I really hope that you were enlightened by the fact that there was a Haunted Mansion television show proposed but never got off the ground. And personally, I really would have loved to see it come to fruition. But I guess we'll only associate the Haunted Mansion with the ride and the movie. And with that out of the way, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.